Hey everybody, happy Zen Withins'day. You'll have to forgive me, I'm inside today because even though it is officially summer solstice here, it is raining and I think it's going to be raining for like the next 10 days. So you're going to have to deal with me down here in my healing room instead of outside. I heard from a lot of you last week about the video that I recorded on this idea of holding duality to help with releasing resistance, and I thought I would expand on that a little bit more today. So I woke up this morning and I was in shutdown mode. I was in freeze. And I know why it was happening because I am working again, it feels like for the 100th time, on my masculine and feminine energy. And I am going through another round of healing between those two energies within me and really trying to channel more divine masculine energy in my being. I have had the pleasure over the last couple of weeks of working with a lot of men. I had one day where I had 4 men in a row that I worked with, and yesterday I had 2 men that I was able to work with. And I love that because Source is bringing me masculine clients, and as I'm helping them to heal, what I'm getting access to is divine masculine energy, and my guides and team are bringing in certain frequencies, certain masculine frequencies for me to help my clients. And this goes for the females as well. And yesterday I was working with someone and was able to channel a new degree of masculine energy in my own field and open my above space more to the masculine, to Source, to the divine father energy. And this morning when I woke up, as a result of that, because I was bringing in a new essence, a new frequency, all of my wounded masculine stuff was triggered. And what that looked like was me being really shut down. I spent 3 hours feeling this tension in my heart space, trying to just check out on my phone. I was doing laundry. I wasn't really engaged in the way that I normally am. And I was just sitting with this energy, doing an old behavior of trying to just force through it rather than just sitting in it and allowing it to shift. And I did that for about 3 hours. Then I was like, F this, I'm going to go and I'm going to do some somatic work, and I'm just going to guide myself into some postures, some physical postures to help clear the energy. And I recorded a reel and a short, and I put that on my channel so you guys could see what happened. But it took 5 minutes, and I was in the fetal position. And as I was in the fetal position, I was talking to myself and speaking to the parts of me that feel like they're not lovable unless they're being productive. And this is a big thing for me. I talked with you all a few weeks ago about play and how I'm working on play, and this is part of it, right? Because there's some programming inside of me that says if I'm not working all the time, then I am not lovable and I am not a good person and I am not being of service in the way that I should. And I know how ludicrous that sounds, but that's what's the programming that is in my body, that is ancestral, that is societal, that I'm trying to disentangle from. And ironically, what that programming does is it makes me a hell of a lot less productive because I shut down like I did this morning, and then I can't create and I can't put myself out there and I can't reach all of you and be of service. And so it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy. And one of the themes this month is this idea of the peaceful warrior. And that's been coming up in a lot of my sessions as well. And it's very interrelated to this divine masculine energy. Here we are on this solstice energy, this solar day, which is all about this big, expansive, masculine source energy coming onto the planet in the form of light, the longest day of the year. And there's all this programming that's coming up of me not wanting to be productive today, right? It's raining. I just want to rest and do nothing. And so what a wonderful opportunity, right? What a wonderful opportunity it is to heal this. So looping back to this idea of the peaceful warrior. So as that energy theme came forward this month, I was describing to you all in my energy update the posture of the peaceful warrior, which is basically a staggered leg posture. The front leg is bent, the back leg is straight on an angle, and the upper body is in repose. It's in a place of surrender with one arm up and over the head and the heart open. And this posture is the perfect example of what I'm talking about when I say surrender to Source and open to Source, but have a strong foundation in the now. So the lower body is rooted and firm and stable and has a strong foundation so that you can channel a lot of light into your being. And the upper body has surrendered and is receiving, right? And this is what it looks like when we have the two parts of our being in harmony, right? And we're not in a wounded masculine state where we feel like we have to force things into happening. The lower body knows who it is, firm in foundation. The upper body is open to receiving. And so when we are talking about resistance, when we're talking about letting go, when we're talking about surrender, when we're talking about balancing the masculine and feminine energies, all of these things are related to what's happening in the body when we are feeling like we're in flow, right? When we're in flow with life, all of these things are balanced. And so this morning when I woke up in freeze and I was clearly not in balance and I was in resistance to letting go and doing what I needed to do to move the energy, I was in a stagnant place, right? There was no flow in my body. And when I came into my fetal position hold and I was talking to myself, very quickly what happened is the parts of me that were in resistance, that were having a hard time letting go of these productivity programs, just became validated. And then I was able to come back into my strong foundation. I was able to let go of the battle that was happening inside of me and release that resistance. That's what it is to embody these peaceful warrior energy themes that I'm talking about, right? The posture, the yoga posture, is a great physical representation of it, a visible representation of it. But what it feels like in your body is just allowing whatever is present to arise, giving it grace, giving it validation, and then it is able to shift, just like we talked about last week, right? And so when we are in alignment with this idea of being the peaceful warrior, we can go into battle, we can go into fight if we need to, but that is not our usual state of being. We have access to that energy, we have access to that roar, we have access to that ability to set boundaries, but on the whole, we're in a state of surrender, we're in a state of flow, we're in a state of observation, of noticing what is present around us. And so if you are finding some of these things coming up for you where you're like, gosh, I feel like I'm in slow motion, or I have all this fatigue, or I'm not able to get things done, or I feel like I'm in resistance, these are the energies that we're working with this month, right? Because we're bringing more of this solar energy onto the planet, more of this divine masculine energy onto the planet right now. Here we are in summer solstice, and we are trying to learn how to allow that energy to flow through our being to empower us rather than overwhelm us, right? Rather than overwhelm our nervous systems, rather than overwhelm our mental bodies, because that's often what this very high frequency divine masculine energy will do. And then on the other side of that overwhelm, we shut down, right? We go into freeze. And so if you're finding any of these things coming up, these are the energies that we're working with right now. And so you may need to do something like I did this morning, which is to go into a hold in the body or a place of connection with the body, to be with those energies that are in resistance and allow them to flow out of the body. Breathe with them, be with them, so that they can release, so that they can be seen and then be released. And then you can come back to being in flow again. The nervous system will reset itself, the energy body will reset itself, and you can continue to be bringing in this big energy that we're receiving right now, this light, all of this joy, right? Sometimes we are in very great resistance to good things. And that's sometimes what can get triggered when we're in these big energy portals like summer solstice as well, right? As we're stepping into all this light. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. I hope it serves you. I hope you feel seen in this. If this is coming up for you, I encourage you to check out my short on YouTube that's also posted on this page, or if you're watching this on another channel, I encourage you to check it out on my Facebook page and my Instagram page under my reels. I've got a little example of what it looks like to go into this hold, what you do, how you breathe through it, and it doesn't take long, but you have to bring some awareness to it. So enjoy these peaceful warrior energies. Don't get swept up by them. Lean into it. Lean into the surrender and the strong foundation. Do what you need to do to take care of yourselves. And I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.